Are open playlists going to be the standard for launch? I'm very happy to say that the matchmaking that we introduced in the Black Ops 7 beta, which is the classic matchmaking where skill is minimally considered, will be the new standard matchmaking for Black Ops 7 multiplayer on launch.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and I am still livid about what happened yesterday, man. There's a lot I want to go over in this video in regards to Black Ops 7, but I gotta start with this, man. We were so freaking close. The launch was right around the corner. Everything was going great. The community genuinely seemed excited about the game. There was always that little bit of hesitation given Activision's track record. I mean, sure, I understand that, but it truly seemed like folks were truly happy and skill-based matchmaking was dead and gone, at least for the foreseeable future. But what you guys saw there at the very beginning of the video was the head honcho himself, Mr. Matt Scrons of Treyarch, revealing to the world that open matchmaking would be the standard for Black Ops 7. That was actually from a dev talk video from last month, like right after the beta wrapped up, but as I'm sure you're all well aware by now, yesterday they went back on that statement, and instead, open matchmaking, instead of being the standard, is now just going to represent the majority of Black Ops 7's game modes. When the game comes out, it's going to start with some basic modes in the open playlist, which means no skill-based matchmaking, and then there's going to be one mosh pit in the SBMM playlist, I guess they're calling it. I mean, technically they're calling it the standard playlist, which is really ironic because Matt Scrons, you guys heard it, claimed that open matchmaking would be the standard. You know, the wording here is so freaking misleading. And picture it for a moment. If you're just a normal COD fan who does not pay attention to all this online stuff, doesn't follow the news or the drama or anything like that, if you're a normal casual player, which apparently makes up the vast majority of the community, when you boot up the game and you're presented a choice, wouldn't you want to play the standard game mode that you're used to? Like, it literally says standard right there. Like, that's what Call of Duty is supposed to be, right? The standard? It's so freaking frustrating, man. The misleading nature of how they've been promoting matchmaking within Black Ops 7 has been horrendous. I mean, back during the beta, they added the open playlist and people freaking loved it, right? They even got rid of it for a day. Like, they removed open search and destroy and made it like closed search and destroy, standard search and destroy, I guess they'll call it. And everybody got pissed, man. Nobody was happy about that. Then suddenly the next day, they're like, oh, our bad. We were just gathering more data. Here's your open game modes back. And everyone was happy once again, man. Then one day after the beta ended, they posted this claiming that open matchmaking is confirmed and it's going to be the default for all of Black Ops 7. And when you combine that with what we just heard Matt Scrons say, which by the way, I'm going to play one more time for you guys.
Classic matchmaking where skill is minimally considered will be the new standard matchmaking for Black Ops 7 multiplayer on launch.
I think it's pretty damn crystal clear, with no misrepresentation whatsoever, that old matchmaking was back, skill-based matchmaking was gone, and Call of Duty was finally going to get back on track. But Activision is still Activision. I said yesterday's video, I'll say it again here. Activision is still Activision, and of course, they had to leave the door open for their scumbaggery to return at some point throughout Black Ops 7. And almost ironically, very few people out there are actually defending this whatsoever. There are some people saying, well, everyone knew this is what was going to happen. Nobody knew this is what was going to happen, right? The only people I really see defending this are the same people who get flown out to all the COD events, the same people that have to tweet hashtag COD partner, the same people that post pictures of themselves wearing Call of Duty jackets and Call of Duty hats that were personally sent to them by Activision. I don't know why these people are trying to defend this company when they so clearly misled the entire community and misrepresented what they were actually going to be doing. Default matchmaking just means the game's matchmaking, right? That's it. Like, standard means the standard. It means what matchmaking is and how it will always be and how it should be. And it's obvious why they waited until less than 48 hours before the launch of the game to drop this bombshell on the entire community, because by doing so, they basically softened the blow for launch, right? They gave people a little bit of time to kind of like get mad about it, talk about it, do whatever, and then the game's going to come out, and more posts are going to be about the game and the maps and the guns and the Easter eggs and all that stuff, as compared to the bait and switch that they just pulled on players. And speaking of all of that, they did make a new blog post here today showing pretty much everything that's going to be in Black Ops 7. Most of this was honestly previously announced in one way or another. There's not too much new stuff here, but we do have official screenshots of things like camos and challenges and prestige mode and prestige rewards. That's a big one, obviously. Menu updates, calling cards, medals, pretty much freaking everything, right? And in a lot of ways, I've got to be honest, Treyarch has been doing a great job with Black Ops 7 because it was co-developed side by side with Black Ops 6. They obviously held a bunch of stuff out of Black Ops 6 to save for Black Ops 7. That's a whole other topic, but the end result seems to be the new game will be a lot better than the last one. Like, full stop, that's genuinely what I see here. The camo system is better, the challenges are better, hell, weekly challenges look fantastic. Not only do you get a new loadout item each and every week, whether it be a gun, or an attachment, or a score streak, or a blueprint, or whatever, you're getting something new every single week. Like that system from Modern Warfare 3 is back, and they're also going to be adding in 2 animated camos that you can unlock each and every season. And I'm not the best person at math in the world, but that adds up to at least 12 animated camos that we can earn from challenges throughout the entirety of Black Ops 7, when Black Ops 6 by comparison had what, like 2, maybe 3? I'm genuinely curious. I think 2 or 3 total animated camos you could earn post-launch as compared to the stuff we saw back in Modern Warfare 3. It was horrendous, right? It was really bad. Everything about Black Ops 7 is looking better, whether it's going to be the weapon XP being faster, or cross-progression between game modes being faster, or having challenges and rewards for each individual game mode. Everything about Black Ops 7, objectively, to me, really seems like an upgrade from Black Ops 6. The only real kicker, I would say, would be the wall jump. That's a bit of a divisive topic, honestly, but everything else seems like a genuine improvement, and the icing on the cake is them finally listening to reason and supposedly removing skill-based matchmaking, which makes the game feel organic and fun once again. But of course, we all know what's going on with that, man. Like, oftentimes, I'm labeled a Call of Duty hater, you know, like somebody who just blindly hates everything about Call of Duty. I never have anything positive to say. I'm never constructive. I just hate, and just spew hatred all the time. That's all I do. But those people obviously don't watch my videos, man. There are few people in this world that love this franchise as much as I do. I have forgotten more about Call of Duty than most people have ever learned, and even then I still know more than most, but I get where people are coming from, especially from the outside looking in. My Call of Duty videos have been pretty negative, especially in this past year, right? Well, I'm gonna get animated here for a second, but can anybody fucking blame me, right? Has everybody already forgotten, like, this hype cycle, this marketing, it works so well apparently because these guys seemingly have forgotten what Black Ops 6 was actually like. Do these people not remember the Ninja Turtles and the farting unicorns? Do they not remember the mass exodus of players quitting at record rates because they also didn't like what was going on with the game? Did they forget about all the content creators who quit posting COD because it just wasn't fun anymore? Did they forget about all the AI slop being added to the game and Steam forcing them to disclose their AI use to all their potential buyers? Did they forget about everybody getting their skill-based matchmaking stats directly from Activision? And we could all see, like, it was all right there in black and white at a numerical level, just how warped, twisted, and manipulated the entire Call of Duty experience has been. Like, I get that some people are a part of this, like, newer generation where they see things like, I don't know, freaking Roger from American Dad, a show from the 2000s, by the way, running around in a mech suit in a game that's set in the 90s. They see that as normal, and I kind of get that, right? If that's what you're raised with, you don't really know any better. But even if you can possibly look past the over-monetization of Black Ops 6, what were you actually left with? You were left with a game that the developers abandoned. There was barely any updates whatsoever. Matt Scrons, who's been very active recently promoting Black Ops 7, was completely gone all throughout the entirety of Black Ops 6. I thought the guy died. He did not talk whatsoever. The community manager for Treyarch did not tweet for the entire year. Not a single tweets from their community manager the entire year. The devs abandoned that game, and the only time something interesting happened was when a new cartoon crossover was added. I mean, Black Ops 6 was lifeless. It was soulless. It was nothing like the old Black Ops games. It was basically a parody of itself, and even then, if you could deal with all of that, if you could deal with the staleness, if you could deal with the AI slop, if you could deal with everything I just listed, you then on top of that had the matchmaking experience ruining what little of the game was actually left. It's no secret why I barely touched Black Ops 6 throughout 2025, because I would still come back and I would try out new seasons. You know, there was a season reloaded, I would check that out as well. But those of you who actually watch my videos, how many times did I post me playing against top 1,000 in the world iridescent players with 40 to 50,000 Jackal or Amos kills every time I signed into the game? Like, the matchmaking ruined what was already a pretty terrible experience. People would just say, oh, Nero, you're just bad at COD or whatever. I showed you my skill-based matchmaking stats, and I'm showing you how tight the matchmaking is, and I'm showing you me facing iridescent and crimson players all the freaking time. So yeah, I was a bit negative when it came to Black Ops 6. I admit that, but can you really freaking blame me? Can you blame any of the people, the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions maybe, of people who all quit the game this year because it just simply wasn't fun? The game was a train wreck, but Black Ops 7 was set to be different, man. The open matchmaking in the beta, from my perspective, felt fantastic. Some of the most fun I've had in COD in years. years. You then combine that with them fixing virtually everything from Black Ops 6, and this game is set in prime to be one of the best Call of Duty titles of the modern era, but now Activision is threatening to ruin all of that, all because they wanted extra pre-order numbers so they could compete with Battlefield 6, man. There's no way in hell. It was just a coincidence that they make that dev talk, they make those tweets, they make those blog posts talking about open matchmaking, how it's going to be the standard and the default and this, that, and the other, and then not clarify on that whatsoever until 48 hours before the game comes out, when it's like pretty much too late for people to cancel their pre-orders, man. There's no way in hell that was just a coincidence. Like, hopefully you guys see where I'm coming from here. Now, to get back on topic here for a second, just I feel like I'm getting too animated. I said it in yesterday's video, but I fully expect the launch of Black Ops 7 to go off without a hitch. I truly do. The majority of the game modes are going to be open matchmaking, just like the beta, and for me, once again, the beta felt fantastic. There's only going to be, at launch, the one skill-based matchmaking mode, though obviously more are going to be coming. Looking at the menu, looking at the UI, this is what Treyarch themselves posted. You don't make an entirely separate category for one individual game mode. But going back to it, I predict the game will be fun. It's going to be a little sweaty the first couple of days, I imagine, kind of similar to a beta where, you know, the people there right from day one, especially the people that do the New Zealand trick, you know, it's going to be sweaty, at least for the first couple of days. Whatever, I can deal with that. I've dealt with skill-based matchmaking for like 6 years. I think I can handle the launch day of Black Ops 7, you know, but the game itself, I predict is going to feel pretty good. It's going to be enjoyable, leveling up once again, trying out new guns that weren't in the beta, seeing maps that weren't in the beta, going for score streaks that weren't in the beta, you know, doing all of those things that we always do when a new COD game comes out. It's going to be fantastic. I'm actually really looking forward to it. But to get back to it here just for a second, them adding in an entirely separate category specifically for skill-based matchmaking is the writing on the wall. More game modes are going to come to this standard category, and even then, they talked about not splitting up their player base, not wanting to divide their community and everything. Well, they're essentially going to be dividing everything in half. If they start adding in more game modes to the standard playlist, you're cutting everything in half, man. Think about it. You're going to have like open team deathmatch, hardcore open team deathmatch, standard team deathmatch, standard hardcore team deathmatch, you know, and then you do that for every single game mode. You have like 4 versions of TDM, 4 versions of Dom, Kill Confirm, Search and Destroy, Ground War, for crying out loud. I don't know, name all the game modes in COD, you know, 4 versions of everything if they go down this road. It's going to be an absolute mess, which is why right now, it's just going to be a mosh pit. They're kind of dipping their toe into the pool, but we know for a fact that they planned on freaking cannonballing into that pool after a couple of months, after the dust is settled, and after the war of the initial launches between Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7 is finally over. They're trying to downplay this as just one single mosh pit for launch, but you don't design an entire category around one mosh pit, man. Like, throwaway game modes, if this is supposed to be that, throwaway game modes go in the featured category for a while, like they did in Black Ops 6 or like they had back during the beta. Mark my words here, my friends. More and more game modes are going to be coming to standard because Activision still believes in skill-based matchmaking, and they believe it's going to make them more money in the long run. In the short term, however, open matchmaking is the hot button issue of the week, which is probably how they're treating this. So for right now, we're going to have it because they wanted to bolster up those pre-order numbers from the hardcore fans. While the casual fans, well, they have no idea about any of this. They're just going to play the game, do whatever. They're probably going to pick the standard game mode because, hey, standard, that's normal. I want normal. I don't know what open means. I'm not going to bother with that, you know. Need I remind you all, this is the same company with the white pages. This is the same company that defended skill-based matchmaking all those years. This is the same company that would fire their own employees if they so much as mentioned or acknowledged skill-based matchmaking for like 4 years straight, you know, like they refused to talk about it. They had people under NDA, like they trust this thing and have invested so many millions into it. So just don't fall for it, man. Like, the launch is going to be good. It really, truly is. It's going to feel like the beta. It's going to feel like the old days of COD. It's going to be fantastic. But that rug pull is ready to come, man. It truly is. But moving on here, and to wrap up the video today, I do have Game Pass. Therefore, I will have Black Ops 7. I did set my region to New Zealand, so therefore, I will be playing the game tomorrow, and I will give it a fair shake. And again, I predict I'm going to like the game a lot because it's finally going to be the way Call of Duty should have always been. Great progression, colorful maps, organic matchmaking with no disbanding lobbies. In terms of features, it's going to be a lot like the good old days, and I'd be lying if I said I was not excited for the game. I am excited to actually try out Black Ops 7 because there's always still that kid in me who first fell in love with COD back in 2007, who would like rush home after school in high school to get online and play with my friends for like 8 hours straight. That person's still here. I still love the COD franchise, and having a good game to play for as long as we're able to do so before they warp everything once again is going to be fantastic, especially after the dumpster fire that was Black Ops 6. That being said, however, I'd be remiss if I didn't call Activision out once again for their bullshit rug pull, because after seeing everything they've done over the course of the past 5 or 6 years, it's clear as day where they plan to eventually take Black Ops 7 in the future. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much going to do it for me here in this video. I just realized that unlike most other people, I never did a proper like final review of Black Ops 6, but given everything I've already said here in this video, I suppose I'll just end off the totality of Black Ops 6 with a simple rating. Overall, I would give this game 2 Stan Smiths, 1 Red Red Ninja Turtle, a Seth Rogen, and a freaking, I don't know, AI-generated Nuketown poster out of 10. There you guys have it. There's my review of the totality of Black Ops 6. Stay tuned for the next video, probably tomorrow night, where I give my honest first impressions of Black Ops 7 and cover everything in the game. You know, as a first impression, the good, the bad, the ugly, the amazing, the horrible, everything. So until then, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video here today. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments. What would you rate Black Ops 6 out of 10? I'm curious to hear about that. Be sure to sub to the channel if you're new around here. Thank you all so much for listening. And until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.